Hello everyone, good evening. This is Inge. I wanted to make a background with you tonight for the 100-day project. And to do that, I want to show you the card I made today. I made it yesterday, but you know, it was for today, and I'm always making one day prior. No, how do you say previous? I don't know. You get it. As I was making this background, and I can show you here my test background. When it was done, I loved it, but then I placed this on top, the images, and I figured they really sort of stood out, and that has to do with like here, the sort of grayish brownish tints that you have also here on the bottom. I realized I've been looking too much at the flowers, wanting to incorporate the yellows and the oranges or salmon colors, and yeah, so I got thinking, how can I make this better? I've made some, little marks here. They don't really show up. I wanted to do a little bit of a better improvement. But hey, later on I did this. I added some extra shading. You didn't see that on the picture because that's always 24 hours later. I always look at a card and think, maybe I need to change something. So I think this is even better. But yeah, I wanted to do a better job. And so that is why I came up with this one. This beautiful image is also from the New Spring book. And I figured, you know what, she is just gorgeous as she is. The only thing is, when I put her here, I realized I made some mistakes. And I will show you those mistakes. But I will show you also how to make this background. And that is, for me, the almost pinkish reddish and yellow really stand out as a splatter. I like splattering, I really do. And the yellow sort of disappears in the background, but it's too bright for my, because look, these colors are so beautifully soft. So I figured I have just used the wrong, how do you say that? The wrong colors. I used distress ink, and for the splattering, I just, outdid it a little bit. Too bright colors. I'm going to correct that for you, or for the new card, and show you how I do that. You could also add white splatters, I didn't do that now. Maybe I will, I can do it. If you are going to splatter after you've made the background and glued your image on, always make sure that you put something on top to protect her face and maybe like her hands, put some card there, or a bit of towel, because trust me, I've done it a million times. Hi, hon. And you splatter, and the splatter comes where you don't want it. You can't really control it that well. So if you don't want it on her face, her hands, or whatever, make sure you cover that up. I'm going to do at least the background splattering before the image. Are you now going to sit on everything I want to show? That's I'm sorry. She's out of the video, but she's sitting next to me, and she's sitting on everything I want to use. But that's okay. Maybe she'll move, and otherwise I will help her a little. Maybe you can see her tail moving. So that is what we're going to do today. First, I'm going to show you how I made the background, because that is something that I haven't shown before. You could totally do it with another way, like another technique that I've already showed. You could brayer with paint. You could do a lot of splashing, spraying. This time we're going to be doing it a little bit more, yeah, I would say mindful, so that we have our image in mind and constantly check that we are in the right position. Because like for instance, personally I think that this orange is a little bit too low and I want it more in the corner. Okay, now there's something you need to know about the color theory. If you remember, yellow and blue make green, and yellow and red make orange. But that also means that blue and orange make mud. And normally I would love a good brown vibe, but this time, well, she could totally pull it off a little bit. I want to avoid that. The colors I'm going to be using are Distress Oxide inks, Speckled Egg, where is my pumice stone? My pumice stone, and I'm going to be using saltwater taffy. And you can see I've used them very lightly. You can always go darker, and we will go darker later on. So what I've done, and you can hardly see it, but it's here. I'll hold it up for those. Here I've how do you say that? Oh gosh. Blended on blended on the pumice stone, sort of as a barrier between the saltwater taffy, which is orange, and the speckled egg, which is a bluish. It's partly blue, it's partly green, but anyway, I've kept this as a sort of barrier. If you want to, you could add a little bit of yellow. That's perfectly fine. I might do that actually, because and I've tried different yellows. We have antique linen and we have scattered straw. Don't go for the squeezed lemonade. That's this. The splatter is squeezed lemonade. I will not make that mistake. If I were you, I would start with the antique linen because it really matches her dress. So yeah, that's you enough, sweetheart. That's too. Yeah, that is too high for you. There you go. And I'll take the stencil back. Sorry guys, interruption. So that is, we could do that, and let's just try it, because why not? This is a stamp, and it's sort of, it reminds me of a honeycomb, and I thought, well, for the spring theme, that goes really well. It's very soft. I've stamped this on with pumice stone, but then the distress inked. I'm going to be doing that again. I've also used a broken china for this splatter. That I really like, but you don't have to do that. You could just go with speckled egg, but well, we'll see. And yeah, so let's just get started with these three colors first. Now, if you start blending, and let me grab this. This is really comes in handy. I have this from IKEA. This is used so that your furniture doesn't move, or you know, keeps everything like from sliding. And you could also use, you could use that for this as well, and it really helps. What else do you need? You need either a blending foam. These are the flat ones. You also have the domes, but you could also use, and I will be using them, the blending brushes. I got these very cheap from AliExpress, and they work perfectly. So, and I also have the expensive one from Pink Fresh Studio, I think they are. These are fine as well, but yeah, the price difference is staggering. And I have like a whole lot of them. So first what we want to do is you pick up your image, you put it on your card. This is watercolor cards, 200 grams I think. It's I use it also to make the backgrounds. It looks flimsy, but that's just because it's a small piece. There's two sides, I don't know if you can see, but this side is a little bit, yeah, I would say has a structure, and this side is much smoother. And we're going to work on the smooth side because it blends easier. It doesn't do anything for the absorption of water, and yeah, I did do some water splashing on this as well, very lightly. So I'm going to hold this one. If you have another image, that's fine, use that. And then hold her sort of where you want to place everything. So you sort of know where you are going to put the flowers. I'm going to put these here. I like that. It gives it a little bit more body, and it really adds to the color. So that means that we won't see a lot of the speckled egg. But that's okay. I want to keep the sort of saltwater taffy here, the diagonal, and this bluish come back here. Oh my gosh, you also need a glass of water, and my cat just attacked the water. Yeah, well, it's fresh, honey. Go ahead. Oh my gosh. Oh. So, yeah, that's something you have to be mindful of. Where are you going to put your colors? And you can always grab it back. Now, I'm using this stencil. This is a large stencil in comparison to the size of the card, but I really like it because, look, you get the sort of hexagonic geometric shapes that reminds me of a beehive, you know, the hexagons, but it has a little bit of extra. It just is a little bit more playful. So that is why I wanted to use this one. And but that's later on. First we're just going to put on the colors. While Lily is drinking away here, let me grab my... Oh, sorry, it's right by. I'm going to start with the speckled egg. And I'm sort of going to mimic this because that started here. Now, what I did, guys, this is a blending tool, and the blending foam I just replaced this morning. So it was a brand new one. And that means that when you start this very first, it takes a long time before you get a layer of color. Now, I don't mind that because, like I always say, you can go from light to dark, but once you have dark, it's very difficult to go back to light, and especially with distress oxides, because if you add water to them, you will not just absorb the color, but you will also start that oxidizing process. And yeah, I don't know if that is what you want. This is enough of a corner for me. I'm also, because the flowers were here, I'm also going to do this corner. So that blends in nicely with the flowers that are there. And start from the edge of the paper and then work your way, you know, making circular motions. And for me, it doesn't matter if I'm doing this with a brush. I will show you the brush in a minute. Or if I'm using a blending foam, it works the very same way. I'm starting off here and I'm working my way down there. And as you can see, it's very, very light. Make sure your fingers aren't wet because they will leave an imprint immediately. And that is hair from Lily. Okay, I hope you can see it because it's very pale, but that's okay. I'm going to move over now to the pumice stone. And the beauty of these colors and the oxides is you can really blend them really well. So it's okay if you overlap. In fact, you must overlap. That makes it all the more prettier. And we can go over this with speckled egg later on. No problem. The idea is that we're now going to get a sort of cohesive layer all over the background. Let me see. I wanted it here. That I have. Oh yeah, let's go here. And here. And this took me quite a while. So if you're doing this at home and for the first time, you know, be prepared that maybe your first background isn't going as smooth or as great as you thought it would. It really does take time. There we go. I'm going back first to the speckled egg, and now I will show you how to do it with a blending brush and what the difference is. Now, just remember I already put a layer down here, so it will immediately go darker. Not a lot, but it will. So if you're doing the first layer, be prepared that it is very light, and that's okay. And I realize I missed this part here where I need to do some pumice stone. That's okay. Let's go here. And make sure that you overlap the other color, because that will give for a beautiful blend. And with these soft colors, that's what we want. We don't want patchy, we don't want hard lines, and that's why I'm always, you know, sort of making round movements, because I want it to be evenly, and I don't want harsh lines. There we go. That's it. The same thing we can do for the pumice stone. And now I'm going to be doing a little bit here, in between the blue. Yes, and now for the final I'm going to be using saltwater taffy. I don't have an orange foam, so I'm going directly from the brush to this. And as you see, if you do this, you get a, how do you say it, more ink on. So you have to gently brush it on if you want the color to be soft and stay soft. And I'm blending it in with the here as well. We had a patch of it here. Let's do a little bit down here as well. I'm not going to add the yellow because I'm worried it will be too much of a circus, and I want it to be a very, yeah, sort of very soft, fairy-like background, because of course my girl, I want her to steal the show and not the background in this case. So there we go. You know, I think it's a bit too pink now for my taste. Maybe that's because I had some more pumice stone. That means I'm going to switch colors. And if you don't, then that's okay. Because what you can do then is add a little bit of pumice stone on top. That will dull it down. But for the stenciling, I'm going to go for dried marigold. So I am going to use the same blending brush. And the reason I do that is because I'm just going to take a little bit off so that the colors will overlap. I'm pretty happy with this. I think what I did, I did a little bit of spraying before. Let's do that. And I do this from a distance with my, and that's it, nothing more. And then I dab it off. I don't give it too much time to really work in, and I hope you can see this because it's very faint, but here and there you see some white spots where the oxidizing has started, and that's it. I don't want a lot of fuss. I want it to be very very almost air-like. Yeah, I like that. I'm going to give it a quick dry, guys, because we're going to be stenciling on top. Oh, and one thing I also found out, if you are working on a cheap placemat, do not do this. It starts to buckle, your placemat. Fortunately, it's resumed its original form, but yeah. So, and it doesn't need that because it was just okay. So what we are going to do now, I'm going to move these out of the way. I'm going to go for the dried marigold. And there we go. See, that's a we also have, maybe, let me, ooh, I think I like this one. This is tattered rose. We're going with tattered rose. Yeah, that's it. That's what we're going to do. Sorry, I just changed my mind. It happens. And we'll just see what happens. Trying to get it fairly square. Is this better? Yeah, that's it. Okay. And then I'm going over, but not just there, but also a little bit on the more to the bottom. I can show you. See, that's it. And don't be afraid that you put quite a bit. That's okay. Most of it will be covered by the image, so that's okay. We just want a little bit, and I'm also going to do a little bit here because I really like that. And see, this is why this is so handy, because now you don't have to have another hand to hold this one. Yeah, oh, I hope you can see this, guys, but I absolutely love this. I do. I'm contemplating a bit if I want to add a little bit of, I think I will actually. Why not? Why not do that? Where is my speckled egg? There it is. I'm just going to use the same color. Yeah, there she is again. And my same brush that I had. And do a little bit. just to a quick one. See? Oh, I like that. I really do. I'm going to do the same thing here in the bottom, because it's just gorgeous. And we can that's it. See? Oh wow, I really like that. But second times always turn out better than the first ones, I guarantee you. Let me clean this up. A little bit of water, just a rag towel. That's okay, we will be using this again. Now the next step, what we're going to do is to stamp on it. These very faint stamps I did. This is the, look, it even has the bees and a little bit of the honey in it. Where is the pumice stone? Here it is. I'm using pumice stone distress ink. Now don't worry if you get just a partial stamp, that's okay. We're not going for perfection, we just want a little bit of a hint of some stamping. It's perfectly fine if you don't have the entire stamp or just a part of it. Maybe you just have a little. There we go. Yeah, that's it. It's all just to add texture. That's it. Nothing more. That can go away. We'll clean this off. Just water and a little bit of this will do. There we go. Now for the splattering. I'm going to get this one out of the way. Like I said, I used broken china. We're going to do that first. Yeah, because really press it down, like that you see a lot of ink on your mat. Then add water. And I'm using, sorry. I'm using a fan brush. Very cheap one, doesn't have to be expensive or anything. Get your glass of water near and then just really, or if you think you have put a little bit extra, yeah, that's it. It has to be very watery. And then gently. And don't move it, because when you're happy, you're happy. Those big drops will soak into it, and the moment you move your cards, they will become splatters that will, how do you say that, that will start to run. That's not what we want. We want to just get in. That gives you a little bit of time to rinse out your brush. We already had a paper towel here, that's fine. And we are going to clean this off. Make sure that you clean it off nicely, because like I said, we're moving on to another color, and blue and yellow make for mud. We don't want that. I'm going to dry this a little bit. And now you can pick it up, so the heat can go through. The more the heat can go through, the faster it dries. And you see them start to. The thing with distress oxides, let me stop, is that you can clearly see sort of the outlining and in the middle where it has oxidized a little bit more. Okay, next color. Now for this, I already said I had used the wrong colors. I'm going to be using, I'm going to be using scattered straw, which is a, yeah, I don't know how to, it's a creamy, almost ochre yellow. Beautiful, I think. And I think a better match for this than the squeezed lemonade, which was really, yeah, I think, yeah, okay. Yep, that's it. Going to rinse out my brush again. Clean this off. I am going to dry it in between. And it doesn't take long, guys, really, a couple of minutes. Yeah, that's it. Okay, now, if you don't like the outline, if you want it to be one color, then use distress ink or use paint. That could work just as well, just to make sure that you have the right colors that match it. I have tattered rose, but I am going to be using saltwater taffy. Yeah, because that is what we started with. Okay. Yeah, that's, I really like. Oh, that's it. I like that so much. So much better, see? And that is why you have to practice, because practice makes perfect. And splattering is always a dangerous. Sometimes you have the amazing background and then you ruin it with splattering. And then the best idea is just to cover it up. Put a flower there or a postage stamp. I like this because the colors are really soft and they will match the girl really well. Yeah, perfect. Perfect, perfect. Okay, let me put her back on so you can see. Oh, we did it the wrong way. See how she's beautifully blending in with the background but still standing apart from it. And then we add the little flowers here to put her a little bit higher up. Yeah, I think that's just perfect. You don't need a lot. Now what I did here, and you see, is put the edges a little bit extra color. We're going to do that last. So I'm first going to glue her down. Let me grab, that is full. I'm not going to ink up this time, because we are dealing with delicate, beautiful pastel colors. If you want to ink up, because you know, use pumice stone in this case. You can't go wrong with that. You really can't go wrong. Okay, a little bit like in the middle here. Yes, beautiful. Then these flowers actually come from the first book, the flower book. They do not come from the spring book, but as you can see, the colors match so beautifully. So yeah, absolutely worth a little bit of paint. That's not a good idea. Of paint, not paint, glue. A little bit of excess glue. And I'm going to put this flower down with it. Yes, I know. I know you want, yeah, just a moment. We're almost done. I'm going to make sure that the edges are really straight. Yeah, that's it. There we go. Oh, no, you're not going to drink this. No, 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 no. That's not what we're going to be doing. Let me finish this, guys. I'm going to be going back with a little bit of the broken china. Just gently, and just from the edge of going to, and then getting a little bit more bold into the corner. Hun, really? There you go. See, it doesn't need a lot, it just needs a little bit. But it does. It sort of frames it. I've said it before, but yeah, it really is true. There we go. And we're going to do the same thing with the saltwater taffy. And we don't need a lot here either, just a corner. Just a little bit here. You know what, maybe what we could do is get the pumice stone and really press hard, like you want to add something. And we're going to be doing this here over the border. Yeah, I like that. Around here too. And then also here where her wings are. That's it. Oh, no, 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 no. Sorry, guys, I'm going to have to intervene because my cat is trying. No, that's not an option, darling. Sorry. Yes, I know. We're almost done. And then you can get all the attention you want. Just not now. Sorry. So, there's one thing I wanted to do. And let me grab that. Yeah, I know. It's horrible. No, that's not the one. Oh, here it is. I had a new one. Twinkle. Now, isn't that the perfect name? These are stickles. That's a glitter glue. You can make dots with it, but you could also... oh, or not. Oh, I hope this... Let me try this first. Oh, there we go. It was just... And then with your water brush, because you know it's silicone, so that's okay. I'm going to spread it out. She's holding it. And I'm going to do it all over where I cut it. Oh, there you go. As if she is blowing fairy dust into the world. I like that. Rinse this off immediately, but that's okay. You can. Perfect. And that is it. Now, this buckles a bit because it got wet, but I promise you, when this is dry, it will completely go flat again. And there you have it. A simple, beautiful card. You could add all kinds of embellishments. You know, you have those epoxy drops that you could add, or, you know, whatever, maybe a little text. And then you have the cutest card. I'm going to keep it for my 100-day project, so she goes with my collection. But yeah, so we went from this, wasn't quite there, and then we had this. And look now at these beautiful splatters. I absolutely love it. So, thank you for watching. If you like my videos, please give it a thumbs up or consider to subscribe. It doesn't cost you extra. In fact, you only get alerted when I have a new video up. Yeah, well, thank you so much, and bye bye.